This question is powered by AskQuesty.com. Get help with your WordPress questions or tasks on demand.
And then go to Dashboard. Then head over to Plugins. I'll show you here how I add shortcode to a web page on WordPress. So here's contact form 7, and inside of settings, you'll notice that I've created one contact form, and here's a shortcode that it gave me, okay? So I copy the shortcode, I head over the 2 pages, I go to new offer, which right now, if I click preview, the new offer page is blank. So if I paste the shortcode given to me, this contact form shortcode, all right, and I click preview, then the contact form is now given. So basically what shortcode does is this shortcode is going to represent the contact form. So to use a shortcode, right, to add a shortcode to a specific page, you simply just paste it. You simply do a Control V or Command V if you're on Mac and just paste it. And then you just update your page. That's how you add it to your page. But if your question is on how do you create a custom shortcode, then I can also show you how to do that. So let's say you want a custom shortcode. Okay. How would you do that? Well, navigate to go to codex.wordpress.org shortcode_API. And here it details how the shortcode API works. Now, if you don't want to read it, I can give you a brief overview of how it works. Okay. So before explaining, I'm gonna do some things. So I'm gonna copy this bit of code, and I'm gonna go into Appearances, Theme Editor, and right now I'm gonna create my own shortcode. So on the right hand side where it says Theme Functions, I'm gonna click into that. Okay, and I'm gonna scroll to the very bottom, and then over here I'm gonna add a comment and say like the below is custom shortcode. Okay, so over here, I'm going to paste the code that was given to me by the codex.wordpress. Okay, so this is the code that creates a shortcode, and the way you use it is you go to I'll go back to Pages and head over to New Offer again, and this time I'm gonna type in foobar. Okay, this is the shortcode. And then when I click preview, it says, oh yeah, right. You have to update the file. Inside of themes, the functions.php, make sure you click the update file on the bottom left. Okay, now if you preview the page again, it should say foo and bar. So let me explain what this does. So over here, inside of the function.php, they're creating a function called foobar function, and it returns foo and bar. And then they're registering a shortcode called foobar, and it calls the foobar function. So in non-coding terms, what they're doing here in this line 190, is they're saying create this label. Create a label called foobar, okay? Create this foobar shortcode. But what I want you to do with this shortcode is I want you to replace this with a call to the foobar function. So anytime the WordPress sees this bracket foobar, it basically is going to call this function, right? Anytime it sees this, it's going to call the foobar function, which is this one. And the foobar function, what it does is it simply returns, it gives back the text foo and bar. So that's indeed what happens by putting a foobar shortcode here. It gives back foo and bar. So if you were to change this, all right, and you were to say, instead of foobar, all right, I want you to give back tofu, right? Anytime you see, let's change the shortcode to Chinese. Let's just do food shortcode. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're creating a shortcode. Okay, I removed the previous shortcode, and I'm gonna say every time you see the shortcode called food, you're gonna call the food function, which is gonna give back tofu, and then update file. Okay, so what this means is that if you change this part so that it says food, now when you click preview, it'll give back tofu. And the reason why is because this food shortcode is basically telling WordPress to call the food func, which is this food function here, and that gives back tofu. So this is how you add a custom shortcode. But for the most part, most of the time, you will have a plugin that will give you a shortcode, and you can just simply paste that shortcode inside of a page or a post, and it will work. Hope that helped.